Let me tell you something, Pack Nation. Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson. That is the guy. That is the guy Chicago is parading around like he is the second coming of Vince Lombardi. That is the guy the whole national media is treating like he cracked the code of professional football. This man, this shirtless, chanting, hot dog promotional jagoff from South Carolina, won 11 regular season games with a loaded young quarterback and a schedule that set him up like a craft fair gift basket. And now we are all supposed to genuflect in front of OP? Let me describe Ben Johnson to anyone who has not seen him. He looks like the substitute teacher who lets you watch a movie on Fridays. He looks like the assistant manager at a Bed Bath & Beyond who just got promoted to store manager and cannot stop talking about it. He has got this face, this scrubbed, wholesome, I coach youth lacrosse on weekends face, and the media is melting over it. Meanwhile, Packers fans are supposed to be terrified of this man, of this guy. Let me tell you what Ben Johnson's big moment was this year. His marquee statement, his signature act as head coach of the Chicago Bears. He took his shirt off. A hot dog stand, an actual hot dog stand in Chicago promised him free hot dogs if he celebrated shirtless after a win. And this man, this fully employed NFL head coach making millions of dollars, took his shirt off in the locker room for a hot dog promotion. And every reporter in America wrote a column about authentic leadership, an entire column about a grown man and a hot dog deal. This is the genius we are supposed to fear. The man negotiated with a hot dog stand and then kept his end of the bargain. Lock the doors, Pack Nation. He is coming. Oh, and he has a motto. Did you know about the motto? Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best. He learned it in high school. He leads the entire team in this chant. Grown men, professional athletes making millions of dollars, standing in a circle, chanting a rhyme from a high school gymnasium in North Carolina. And the Chicago media is calling it culture. They said the word culture as if this is the first football team in history that ever decided to try hard. LaFleur has been running a tight ship at Lambeau for years, and nobody writes poetry about it. But Opie learns a rhyme and gets a feature in The Athletic. I cannot take it. I am sitting in Peshtigo, Wisconsin, reading these articles like, am I on the wrong internet? And listen, I watched the wild card game. I did. Green Bay goes up 21-3 at halftime. Jordan Love throws 4 touchdowns, 3 possessions in the first half. And what does Ben Johnson do? He goes for it on 4th down and fails multiple times. He was 0 for 4 on 4th down conversions in that game. 0 for 4. He was throwing his quarterback into bad situations all night and misfiring over and over again. The Bears were 2 for 6 on 4th downs total, and we still almost held them off. The Packers gave up 25 points in the fourth quarter. I know, but you want to talk about Ben Johnson's genius play calling? The man went 2 for 6 on 4th down, and a missed field goal bailed him out. Brandon McManus shanks a 44-yarder with under 3 minutes left, and suddenly Ben Johnson is a mastermind? Brandon McManus gave him that game. And then, after the game, Ben Johnson blows through the handshake line with LaFleur, does not stop, does not look at him, just blows through like a child who got lucky in gym class and then ran away before the teacher could say anything. That is Ben Johnson's tough guy moment. That is his statement. He speed walked through a handshake line. Legendary. Somebody put that on a banner. Packers fans are supposed to be shaking in their boots because a man jogged past a handshake. Come on. And at his press conference after the season, after the Rams beat them in the divisional round and ended their little fairy tale, this man stands up and says they are back at the bottom, starting from scratch, back to square one. Did you catch that? He lost. They lost to Los Angeles. Their magical, once-in-a-generation, shirtless celebrating season ended with an overtime loss. And now he is out here at the Combine talking about how humble he is, about how hard they have to work. Brother, you went 11-6. You beat a depleted Packers team twice by the skin of your teeth. And then you got sent home by the Rams. That is the legacy of year one for Ben Johnson. A hot dog promotion and a loss to Los Angeles. And the media is still writing Valentines about this man.
You want to know the real story of 2025? Here is what actually happened.
The Packers beat themselves both times. Week 16, we were up 16-6 with under 2 minutes left. The Chicago Bears had a 3% chance of winning that football game. 3%. We could not close it. Special teams botched it. The defense played soft. We handed it to them. That is not Ben Johnson being a genius. That is the Green Bay Packers doing the work for him. And in the wild card, same song. 21-3 at halftime. The Packers offense ran dry. Jordan Love throws 4 scores in the first half, and then the whole unit goes quiet for 3 straight drives in the third quarter. The Bears did not beat us. We beat us. And Ben Johnson held up the trophy. And can we talk about Caleb Williams for a second? Because the media is treating this kid like he is some kind of historic figure already. 7 fourth-quarter comebacks, most by any quarterback under 25 in NFL history. And I'm supposed to be impressed? The man threw 2 interceptions in the wildcard game and still gets the record. He was 24 for 48 passing. 24 for 48. That is 50% in the biggest game of the season. He completed half his passes against the Green Bay defense that finished the year on fumes. And we are treating this like Marino in '84. Brother, I have seen Jordan Love complete more than 50% of his passes on a bad Tuesday in November. The bar for heroism in Chicago is on the floor. And Caleb Williams celebrating after the game. You saw this. Him and DJ Moore are in the locker room grating cheese. Grating cheese because they beat the Packers in the wild card, not the Super Bowl, the wild card round. You know what you do after you win a wild card game? You get to play again the next week. That is it. That is the whole prize. And they gave it a cheese grating ceremony? My daughter is 11 years old, and if she grated cheese after winning a board game, I would tell her to calm down. These are grown professional football players. Oh, and I cannot forget his very first press conference, his first day on the job. Ben Johnson took a shot at Matt LaFleur. Before he coached a practice, before he knew where the back rooms were at Hallis Hall, he chirped at Green Bay from 0 wins as a head coach. 0. You know what that tells me? That tells me he needed to do that. A man who is truly confident does not take shots at the competition on day one. That is insecurity wearing a sport coat. LaFleur did not even respond because LaFleur has a Super Bowl appearance and a roster full of talent. And Ben Johnson had, at that moment, nothing. He was chirping from nothing. Pack Nation, this is who the media wants you to fear. A man who chirped from 0. And here is what I want Pack Nation to understand. The Green Bay Packers are not chasing Ben Johnson. He is not the measuring stick. He is not the bar. He is a first-year head coach who benefited from 2 fourth-quarter collapses that had nothing to do with his play calling and everything to do with our own failures. The Packers beat themselves out of that NFC North title and beat themselves out of that playoff game. So the assignment for 2026 is not to outsmart Opie, it is to stop making his job easy. Finish games, close it out, and the hot dog deal handles itself. So subscribe to the Packernet podcast right now. Leave a review. Tell every Packers fan you know, we are not afraid of a man who negotiated with a hot dog stand and learned to rhyme in high school. We are the Green Bay Packers. This franchise has rings and cases, while Chicago is out here celebrating a wild card win like it is a parade. Ben Johnson got his moment. Enjoy it, brother, and keep the hot dogs. We do not need them. Go, Pack, go!